Do I have some stories for you today? We did 66 pregnancy tests and 42 ultrasounds. I was trying to figure out which story I wanted to share with you all today, and I couldn't narrow it down to one, so I'm going to share all three. We had women from Florida, Arizona, and Utah all referred to a nearby abortion clinic, but God redirected their steps into First Choice just over a 3-day period. A couple flew in from Florida. The lady got back to ultrasound, and she did not want to see any of the images of her baby on ultrasound. And so she laid there with her eyes closed. And when our sonographer turned on the Doppler and she heard the heartbeat of her baby, she opened her eyes and she looked at the screen. And she saw a beautiful little boy, moving, very active and rambunctious. And she said, "Wow, that's too big. I can't do that." She had 2 little girls already, and so when she learned that the gender of this baby was a boy, she was super happy to hear that she was going to get what she would have wished for if she was planning to keep it. So the father of the baby was with her. He did not really want her to abort, but his job takes him away from home a lot, and so he'd come here with her to support her in doing that. Thankfully, they were able to return home together and plan for the arrival of their baby in about 4 more months. Then we had another couple from Arizona that came in. She got back to sonography. She'd arrived at First Choice in her jammies, ready to undergo the beginning of her abortion procedure. It was supposed to be a process that took 2 to 3 days, and so she got to ultrasound, saw a 20-week beautiful baby girl. They were leaving First Choice, still kind of leaning more towards keeping, but not really committed. And our receptionist saw them out walking towards the street and said, "I wonder if they're hungry," because they had just got off the flight and come in for their abortion. And so she went outside and asked them if they would like to come in and eat, as one of our board members had sent in lunch for everybody. And they said yes. So they came into our multi-purpose conference room, and they sat and they had lunch with several of the staff and volunteers for close to an hour. And we just had a great conversation with them. We were able to just love on them, encourage them, be those hands and feet of Jesus to them here in our city. By the time they left lunch, the guy had already texted a bunch of his family and told them. They were naming the baby after his deceased mother. And she said she was going to leave there and notify her parents that they were going to be grandparents. And so their abortion had been paid for by an organization here in the state of Nevada that covers that stuff. So they left First Choice choosing life, and on a completely different course. When they left, they were just thanking us and really happy, and it was incredible to see the transformation that took place. And it was also a very memorable moment for us because we've never had a situation like that where they've come back and we've been able to multiple people sit down and talk and just fellowship over some food and just kind of love on them. So that was pretty incredible. Then I came in thinking I was coming in for a board meeting, but God had different plans. I thought I was going to do Zoom and decided I would go in, and Jessica was in the office, and we were short client advocates at that moment. And so a lady walked in and said she had an abortion appointment. And so I pulled her to a back room to let her know that we don't do abortions. Told her about the services that we provide and asked her if she would be willing to stay and get an ultrasound. Chris, our events manager, just happened to come in as well. So the 2 of us were able to go back and talk to her. She agreed to stay, was sharing with us her story and how she's been in church and she's been asking God, why? And so I told her, God redirected your steps here today. And we were able to have a really good conversation, connect with her on some different things that she was struggling with, and just tell her that if she would honor God in her choices, it might not be easy, but it would be worth it, and God would honor her for making those choices. She had a really difficult situation with being violated by her child's father, who was over visiting her child, and just didn't know why God would have this happen. And so Dr. Hamza happened to be there, and when she got back to sonography, there was a heartbeat of this baby. and Dr. Hamza does abortion reversals. So this gal, we told her, if you continue forward with your plans for an abortion, we want you to know that Dr. Hamza does abortion pill reversals, and you can call us and reach out if that is what you decide and you change your mind. And we just told her that we would be there for her, whatever her choice was. If she had the abortion, we would be there for her later if she struggled with that. So Dr. Hamza came back and talked to her and shared some of her story with her, of how she came from poverty and what she had achieved in life due to her mother just really being that single strong mom that pulled it through for her kids. And so the gal was on her way out and then stopped by the reception window, had a little more encouragement there at the window, and then told Chris that she was going to keep her baby. She went outside, and her friend that had brought her from out of state was rather hostile because she'd brought her all the way here and she'd changed her mind. And so we were just praying that they would head back out to Sahara and go back to Utah, and that is exactly what they did. So we're all rejoicing that those babies that were scheduled to be slaughtered this week from out of state were all able to return to their states and their homes with their parents celebrating their lives and preparing for a future with them. So just continue to pray and lift these families up, because no doubt the devil is not happy when they don't choose to sacrifice their children. And we know that there will be challenges and obstacles, as there are with many good things in life. And we just pray that God would surround them with the people and the support that they need to encourage them back at their homes. And we look forward to hopefully sharing with you all sometime some updated photos of those babies. Our banquet is October the 6th. If you have any silent auction items, they're beginning to assemble those here shortly. We would love for you to contribute to that. That is something that everybody always loves participating in, and it does generate a little money for First Choice. If you haven't purchased your tickets for the banquet yet, please do, fcpsfriends.org. If you haven't sponsored the banquet or you haven't bought a table, we would encourage you to do so. It makes what we do possible for women like the stories I just shared with you possible here at First Choice. I just hung up a little while ago with Robin Sertel. She's our speaker this year for the banquet. She is a 3-time abortion survivor. Her mother attempted to abort her on 3 different occasions by saline, and by the grace of God, she was able to survive that. And she has a pretty remarkable story growing up in the hospital pretty much for the first 9 years of her life due to the actions that her mother took. And no doubt she'll have an uplifting and inspiring story to share with you as we really seek to convey purpose. Beauty from ashes being a lifeline. What has God brought you through? What is the purpose for it? And how might you encourage, support, and lift up those around you with hope and encouragement because of what God has seen you through? So check out our banquet website, our website. It's fcpsfriends.org. There's information on that. Shout out to KKVV. They had the Love Thy Neighbor Festival today up at Floydland Park, and we were able to see some folks that we knew, connect with some that we didn't, and it was a great event that we hope will continue to get bigger as those in the body of Christ continue to connect, support each other, and make Christ known here in this city. That is your weekly update. We look forward to sharing more news with you upcoming. Hope to see you at the banquet. Get on our website and get some information. God bless you. Have a great weekend.